What does the mortgage industry consider to be a first-time home buyer? When is somebody a first-time home buyer? The answer for the mortgage industry is when somebody has not owned a home in 3 years. So if they've not owned a home in 3 years, they're considered a first-time buyer, meaning somebody could live in a home for 20 years, they sell it, they rent for 4, and then they buy again. They're technically a first-time home buyer. Even though they had 20 years under their belt of being a homeowner, they're technically in the mortgage world. They're, in our eyes, they're considered a first-time home buyer. Another example, somebody falls in love, gets married, and we'll say Joe falls in love, gets married, and marries Sally, and Sally owns a home. Joe moves in, and they live there all together for 20 years. They sell, but if Joe was never actually on title, and again, community property states could have something to do with this, so understand that there's some caveats in there. But let's say Joe's just from Nebraska, right? Not a community property state. Joe moved in with Sally 20 years ago, but it was Sally's house and Sally's this, that, and the other. And Sally, owns the home. In theory, Joe's first-time home buyer. Somebody that just sold a house 4 months ago, not a first-time home buyer. They owned it. If they were on title and they owned it, you got to wait 3 years before you consider first-time home buyer. So hopefully that answers some questions about first-time buyers. There are programs that do require somebody on the loan to be first-time home buyer. So check those out too. And we know, a good mortgage person will know. We know when somebody's a first-time home buyer because we ask those questions and we make sure to show those options so that you know that what's in front of you is the best available for what's out there. And certainly we'll walk you through that process. But if you have questions or need us, reach out to the Mortgage Mark team. As always, we appreciate you. When you think mortgage, think Mark.